Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So what do you do if it turns out that an urban legend is real and an evil spirit tries to kill you? That's what happens in the Curse of La Llorona. There, the Garcia family must uncover the mystery of what's happening to their kids when they get stalked by a woman in a white dress. In this video, we'll look at how you can beat the curse and survive until the end. The movie starts in 1673 Mexico with a mother and her husband together with their two kids playing in a field. Then one of the boys closes his eyes, but when he opens them back up, the others are gone. He decides to go towards a river where he sees his mother drowning his brother. After trying to run away, he's chased by his mom, who kills him. This was La Llorona. She has a different first name, but I can't pronounce that. Now, as it's described in the story, she kills her children in a blind fit of rage when she catches her husband with another girl. This makes the first scene a little bit weird because the husband is right there and all of them are happy. So it kind of looks like while they were in the middle of their game, he just walked off with some random girl. But that's not what happens here. It's only explained much later, but there are days in between these various cuts. However, as a rule of thumb, if you're cheating on your partner, make sure to keep that hidden so that the other person can't find out. Seriously, that was the husband's problem in the story. He's seen by his wife out in public with another girl, and then she goes crazy. This emotional reaction could have been avoided if they first gotten split up, or if he told her how he felt, and not just go off with someone else. Or, he could just not cheat. We cut to Los Angeles in 1973, where a single mother named Ana Garcia gets her two kids, Chris and Samantha, ready for school. It's also shown that Ana works for Child Protective Services. Shortly after arriving at work, she goes to investigate a case where a mother is allegedly hurting her kids. She's joined by a police officer and goes to her apartment. When they step inside, all the windows are boarded up like in some meth den and all the lights are off. Eventually, Ana sees that the children are locked in a closet. When she tries helping him, the mother runs up behind her, ready to beat her to death with a hammer. Well, that's a little extreme. Luckily, the police officer appears and saves her. Ana then opens the door and sees two boys. Since the mother seems kind of crazy, the brothers are brought to a temporary home. There, Ana sees that they both have burn marks on their wrists. She asks how they got them, but they only say that she did it. What they mean by that is that La Llorona burned them, as this is how she marks her next victims. Now, something that could really help here is if the kids could be a little bit more specific. When they say, she did it, they're being so vague that Ana thinks that it's their mother that's hurting them. But the two should just be honest here and say that they were being followed by someone who was attacking them and their mother was trying her best to protect them, which is true. That would be a lot more helpful than merely saying, she did it, and leaving the meaning of that message completely up to interpretation. That night, while the boys are sleeping in the building, a guard comes and checks on them. He exits shortly after, but only seconds later we see that one of the boys went outside into the hallway. The younger brother follows him and they walk around for a bit, when suddenly the older one stops in the middle of the hallway by a puddle. Then La Llorona slowly appears from behind a corner. A few seconds later, she kills both of them. Now, one small tip is to avoid any wet locations, since she does tend to be a bit more active around the water. We'll see more of this throughout the movie. Also, when the boys first see the creepy woman appear down the hall, they can call for help. We see that there was at least one security guard checking on the kids only seconds before, so he's probably not that far away. And usually when there are outsiders interrupting the ghost, it has a lower probability of attacking. A few hours later, Ana gets a call telling her to go to the LA River. There they find the two dead brothers. We see that she brought her children and tells them to stay in the car. Ana goes to check out the crime scene and sees the boys. Now, I don't know why the children are here when they were attacked inside that building. Either while the kids were alive, La Llorona dragged them out of the house and across the street and into the river with no one noticing the kids screaming, or she killed them and then threw them into a river for fun. Leave your guess in the comments. Their mother arrives a short while later and starts screaming that La Llorona did it. Then we see that Ana's son, Chris, goes out of the car trying to look at the police work, even though his mother just told him to stay put. He watches from like 60 feet away, but a few seconds later notices a woman crying by a bush. Chris tries talking to her, but it turns out that it's La Llorona, and she jumps out at him and burns his arm. By the way, here the kid screams really loud and La Llorona shouts something at him, yet none of the police nor the mother hear any of this or go to see what's going on, even though they're right there. Once Chris flees back in the car, La Llorona tries rolling down the windows one at a time, but Chris keeps putting them back up. And I gotta ask, what the hell kind of a ghost is this? Rolls down a window? And how is the evil spirit weaker than this 9-year-old? She can't even twist that knob harder than Chris? She's a ghost. How does she even kill anyone when she's about as strong as a soaking wet newspaper? But here there might be a way for the upcoming conflict to be avoided. Now I believe that Chris starts getting followed by La Llorona because they were near the river by the crime scene of the 2 previous victims. Now later on, the mother of the dead brothers reveals that she made a trade with La Llorona. She should get her boys back and therefore can pursue Chris and Samantha. But it's unclear if that's the real reason why La Llorona goes after the Garcia family, because she never gives the other 2 kids back. And the other mom is painted as kind of insane and untrustworthy, so I believe that it has more to do with them being near the crime scene where she was recently active, and that it's close to the water, which is where she often appears. If that's the case, there was a pretty easy solution. The mother could have simply not taken her kids there. And I don't know why she brings them along anyway. A crime scene is not a place to bring your children. And both of them looked really sleepy as it's probably past midnight. They're not young enough where you can't leave them alone for a few hours, and not old enough that they'll start a house party the minute she's not there. So Anna could have left them sleeping at home, which might stop Chris from ever getting marked. After the ghost is done playing around with the windows, Anna returns, and for some reason neither Chris nor Samantha reveal what just happened. This is a big problem, as it can greatly speed up the process of the mother realizing what's going on with her kids. And Chris doesn't have to tell the whole truth. He doesn't have to say that he went out of the car to look at the crime scene. All he has to say is that there was some crazy old hag messing with the car. After this incident, they all go home and start to sleep. But the next morning, things don't really get a lot better. Anna meets a local pastor who tells her about La Llorona's backstory, that she was happily married to a wealthy man with whom she had 2 children. One day she caught him with another girl and in blind anger killed the kids to take from him what he valued most. Because of this, she can't go to heaven and is stuck in purgatory where she kills young children in an attempt to replace her own. Meanwhile, Samantha is at home playing in the backyard. When she opens her umbrella, she sees the ghost through it. Then the umbrella starts flying towards the pool where the woman stood, and of course, she follows it. When she picks it up, she too gets burned by her. This was a pretty bad decision, especially for a kid. If it were a grown-up, it would make a little bit more sense because you're less likely to be scared off by some ghoul. But when you're a child and you think that Santa Claus or specters and goblins are real, you'd expect her to get the hell out of there. The mother then comes home and talks to Samantha. She asks her how she got the burn marks on her wrist, and she says that she fell. Unfortunately, Anna just accepts this, but she should press back a little bit harder on what really happened. Because first of all, it's a pretty serious injury and she can at least get her a band-aid. And also, it's very clearly a burn mark, not a scratch from a small fall. It looks like somebody put out a cigar on her arm. So when it's dark out and the kids are asleep, Anna begins hearing noises downstairs. She walks around the house and gets led to the entrance where Chris is constantly opening the door. After Anna takes him away from it and asks him what's going on, the door flies open. The mother just brushes this off and says that the kid is probably just having a nightmare. What that has to do with the door opening, I don't know. But there are some pretty major red flags here. First of all, the door was fully closed, so it shouldn't just open up. Also, they had that chain which locks it, so this isn't just some wind. But she brings him back to the bed and takes a look in a room where all the windows are now open and her paper files are thrown around everywhere. Then she looks across the hall into her daughter's bedroom and sees the woman in the white dress. She tries going towards it, but her door closes. Anna quickly grabs a baseball bat and goes back to her door, where she now sees the ghost. She yells at it to get out of her house and swings her baseball bat. But then the kids go inside and ask her what she's making all this noise for. The mother, to my surprise, just says nothing. Although simply asking if they've also seen this creepy white woman can allow them to quickly get to the bottom of this. But everyone just ignores this very creepy and supernatural creature that's standing right in front of them. And the ghost was after the kids, so it would make sense for her to ask if they know about her. Afterwards, the children go into Anna's bed where they both sleep, and the mom stays up until the next morning. They were pretty lucky that nothing happened, but just to be safe, she can call the cops. She even knows some of them personally, so she can ask them to come over. The next morning, she doesn't tell anybody and goes to work like nothing even happened. That day, Anna talks to the mother from the beginning. There it's revealed that when La Llorona took her kids, she tried to make a trade with the ghost so that she can get her boys back, and in return La Llorona can take Anna's 2 children. Again, I don't know how true that is because she never gets them back, indicating that La Llorona didn't take her up on that offer. And why would the ghost trade with her? What's it matter to the evil spirit whose kids she has? So I think it has more to do with the fact that Chris was at the crime scene where she was last active. Then we see that while Anna is talking to this woman, Chris and Sam are in the house. Yes, she left them alone in the house where she saw a ghost. It would be a lot smarter if Anna told them to go to the neighbor's kids or a friend. Now La Llorona will follow them around, sure, but we see that she tends to be much less active when there are other people nearby. Anyway, while he's in the house, Chris goes into Sam's room and goes towards a curtain. There La Llorona jumps out at him. So his reaction upon seeing her is that he runs away, but then stops very conveniently by the stairs. Then the exact same scare happens again and he falls down the steps. Are you kidding me? What kid, after they see a ghost, would run out of the room and then just stand in the hallway waiting for it to attack? Chris, go to your sister, get out of the house, do something. When he tumbles towards the floor, the mother arrives and sees that Chris got badly hurt, and she's all surprised. What? A ghost attacked you? That is so much unlike what happened just last night. How can she leave her kids there? Oh, God. Then we see them having dinner again, and they're all sitting around like, yeah, well, that was a pretty uneventful day. Clearly there is nothing to talk about or to discuss. Then Child Protective Services arrives to take a look at Anna's kids because they found out about their injuries. The woman asks them how they both got the burn marks, but they're all quiet and tell them nothing, so they leave again. Afterwards, the mother asks Chris what really happened, and then he finally tells her what he saw. Then, after La Llorona attacks one more time, they flee the house and ask the local pastor what they should do. He tells them that he can't help them since it would take too long to get approval from the church. So instead, he recommends that Anna asks a local ghostbuster gone rogue. And oh my god, it's Rafael Olvera, of course. He's by far the coolest character, by the way. They all go home together and set up a bunch of candles, which is supposed to keep the ghost away. So it's starting to look like the apartment Anna went into towards the beginning. As it gets late, Raphael can sense that the evil spirit is in the house searching for them. Then all the candles get blown out. I don't really know what the candles were supposed to do if they instantly go out. They probably could have avoided a bunch of effort by setting up half as many, since it doesn't matter since they all get blown out anyways. Then La Llorona shows up and begins attacking the mother. Both the kids quickly run away and hide under a table, but shortly after she appears by the kids and tries dragging Chris out of the house. Just as she's by the door, Raphael grabs her and throws some magic black liquid in her face. This burns her skin and she leaves the house. Then Raphael puts the seeds of a fire tree at the door and La Llorona can no longer enter. He explains that as long as this line of special seeds remains unbroken, the ghost cannot come back in. But if the fire seeds trap her, couldn't they just put them on all the doors in their home while La Llorona was still in the house, and then the family leaves so that the ghost would be trapped inside? Or just put them in the door of a hotel room. Then they go in, leaving La Llorona stuck at the door. Then you can call room service and let them deal with her. But after this stunt, La Llorona tries coming in through the back door since there are no fire seeds there. So they race to the other door trying to secure it as well. Yeah, isn't this all preparation they could have done before? Why is Raphael waiting until now to spread the fire seeds? He could have done it on all the other doors. Then when he puts it on the front entrance, he would successfully keep her out for good. Instead, they squander all their time playing with eggs and lighting candles that don't even last 2 seconds. Anyway, they race to the back door to secure it, but Samantha stays in the front. Then she sees that on the porch just outside is one of her stuffed animals. Since all the others are on the opposite side of the building and she's all alone, she figures that she'll just quickly grab it. And remember what Raphael said, as long as this line of fire seeds remains, they're safe. But the doll is just outside Sam's reach, so she grabs it and pulls it inside. Then she breaks the line of seeds when dragging in this stupid doll, and then La Llorona gets her. All she had to do was not break the line of seeds. Man, if these were my kids... Chris tells them that the ghost will try to drown Sam in their pool, so they all run to the backyard. There they see her in the water and the mother jumps in after her, but La Llorona starts attacking Anna as she won't let go of Sam. Then Raphael blesses the pool and turns all of it into holy water, thereby forcing out the evil spirit. Afterwards, they all go back inside. Raphael suggests that they lock the kids in a closet so that they won't walk towards La Llorona, because she apparently still has some grasp over them and can call them, which will make them go to her. The two adults then stay in the kitchen downstairs while the kids are in the closet in the bedroom. But only a few minutes later, a mysterious woman walks into their room and upstairs. Anna then hears Sam screaming and goes to the front door. And it turns out to be the crazy woman who wants to give La Llorona Anna's children in exchange for her own. Lady, it's not going to work. Your kids are dead. Get it? Poof. Gone. No longer in existence. And how did she even get inside? She just walked into the front door. So I guess they forgot to lock it? Really? If that's the case, why didn't La Llorona just kick the door open and hope that a draft carries the seeds away like it did with a doll? But they could have prevented this if they stayed upstairs with Chris and Sam instead of hanging out in the kitchen, which is on a different floor and far away. Then the woman couldn't have grabbed them. Then it's revealed that this crazy idiot has a pistol with her. She shoots Raphael in the shoulder and yells at La Llorona to take these kids instead of her own, after which she kicks the seeds away. La Llorona is then magically able to remove all of the seeds. Why didn't she just do that before? Ah, forget it. La Llorona walks inside, throws the mother in the basement and locks her in there. In order to get away from her, Sam and Chris run into the attic. The ghost is then able to go up there as well and slowly walks towards them. Also, what they could have done here is take buckets of holy water from the pool and use that to attack her whenever she comes close. But just before she takes Chris, he flashes her necklace. Oh yeah, back in the pool they were able to steal that from her, and now they're showing it off. This removes the creepy demon face and she looks normal again. She begins caressing their hair, but Samantha is pretty creeped out by it, so she starts moving backwards on a blanket. Then, I couldn't believe this. So Anna is still locked in the basement, right? But then the crazy woman has a change of heart and breaks the door to let her out. All of a sudden she's like, I'll help them now. But still, Anna makes her way upstairs. Meanwhile, Sam moves so far back on the blanket that it falls off the item it was on. It turns out that it's a mirror, and when it's revealed, La Llorona takes a look at it and turns into a demon again. I don't know why, I don't care. As it starts attacking the kids again, Anna and Raphael go upstairs to fight it. It's able to knock over Raphael and then runs at Anna and the kids. Just as it's really close, Raphael kicks over a special crucifix to her and Anna grabs it and stabs her in the chest. This, of all things, turns her into a pile of ink and kills it. Finally, they have gotten rid of the demon and are able to move on. So that's how you can beat La Llorona. This movie almost destroyed me, but check it out if you haven't, it's actually pretty fun. As always, I hope you liked it and that I get to see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.